Okay, let us begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirannasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukha karoti vachalam pankoram gayati girim yat kripatamaham mande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravaktarna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, welcome to Gita Connection. So, in the Gita, Krishna repeatedly speaks about the dualities of material nature, happiness and distress, joy and sorrow, victory and defeat. The dualities of this material world is always extreme, heat and cold. And I was thinking, let's discuss this point about why it is important for us to be equipoised and what's the role of forgiveness in this context. So, the usual understanding or the extreme understanding, inadequate understanding is that I should not be happy. You know, Krishna wants me to suffer. Krishna wants me to be in a state of lack. And therefore, I shouldn't enjoy life. I should actually be bereft of happiness and pleasure. That's the wrong understanding, is the myth, to think that to be equipoised means to not enjoy. It's actually a state of consciousness. It's not so much to do with external. My grandmother often, she taught me this mantra. ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಡಿಸುವಾಗ ಮಡದಿಯೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕರೆಯಿಂದಿರುವಾಗ ಗಜಾಹಯ ಪಲ್ಲಕ್ಕಿ ಮೊದಲಾದ ವಾಹನವೇರಿದಾಗ ಬಿಕ್ಕುವಾಗ ಆಕಳಿಸುದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇವಕಿ ತನಯನ ನೆನೆದಲ್ಲಿ ನರಸಿಕ್ಕನು ಯಮದೂತರಿಗೆ ಅವಾವಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದರು. It means in whatever actions you're doing, you're enjoying a ride, you're going on a journey, you're riding a horse, you're riding an elephant, you're going in a chariot, you're in an intimate moment with your partner, you are enjoying playing with your kids. Whatever it is that you're doing, you just remember Krishna. You just feel grateful to Krishna about it. So for a devotee, there is not so much difference between happiness and distress, because the real success of spiritual life is to remember Krishna and to never forget Krishna. So it doesn't so much matter to a devotee whether he's in happiness or distress, as much as it matters whether we are remembering Krishna. That's why great devotees always write prayers saying, may we always remember you, Lotus feet. May we always remember you. And even if it means that let us be put through distresses so we can remember you, let us remember you. So today I was having this realization that sometimes we are afraid of happiness. Sometimes we're afraid of enjoyable moments because we're scared of losing ourselves. We are afraid of losing our sense of detachment. We're afraid of losing ourselves. So that's another extreme of becoming scared of happiness. So we can try to avoid happiness in Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. And in Tamagun, avoiding happiness becomes a source of, we are trying to punish ourselves. We're trying to suffer and struggle unnecessarily. In the mode of passion, we are trying to avoid happiness by unnecessarily taking on austerities that may be unfavorable for our devotional life. At the same time, we may be avoiding happiness, thinking that family life or marital pleasure or seeking companionship or enjoying with kids or enjoying with family members, enjoying with friends we may avoid it by taking on like overworking or so on and so forth, like punishing ourselves, and preventing ourselves from feeling happy. That is another reaction in the mode of passion. But in the mode of goodness, we experience the pleasurable, joyful situations because Krishna wants us to experience happiness and pleasure. Krishna is not some sort of an insecure, narcissistic, egoistic God that wants us to suffer and struggle, Krishna wants us to experience happiness, but it's just that if we can connect that happiness with Krishna, putting Krishna in the center. And so, Krishna, thank you for this association. Krishna, thank you for this family. Krishna, thank you for this friendship. Krishna, thank you for giving me these resources and opportunities. Thank you for the association that I have. So that is what makes it sattvic. The emotion of gratitude is what makes it sattvic. And it's not the avoidance itself that makes it sattvic. And I have been thinking how forgiveness plays a very important role. In my personal life, I had a specific complaint that I don't get something particular in my family relational situation. Oh, I don't get this. I don't get this. So it had become a habit to keep thinking that, oh, I don't get this. I don't get this. Then when I got it, when I get that attention, when I get that kind of help, I'm like, but I didn't get it so far, and only I'm getting it now. It's so tamasic. It's such like childish way of thinking. But then, the sattvic way of understanding is to say, thank you, Krishna, that I'm getting it now. And you know what? I forgive for all those times that I didn't get the respect or the attention or the affection. Thank you that I'm getting it now. And thank you for allowing me to experience this emotion of happiness, this emotion of joy, at least now. Because you see, even in Vedic astrology, for example, Moon is a very flexible planet. Moon is not about how long you experience the pleasure or how long you experience something nice. It's so much to do with the quality of the emotions more than to do with the quantity of how many years have you been in a loving relationship is not the moon's concern. Even a moment of love and, even a moment of affection, Moon is satisfied. So Moon is a planet which indicates feminine energy. So feminine energy is not about quantity, unlike the masculine. Feminine energy is very much about the quality. So the quality, Krishna himself says in the Gita, how there are, even intelligence. He says that among women, I'm intelligence. Is that how he says it? Or how is it? How does he say that? What's that verse? I'm intelligence among women, right? I'm searching for that verse. Yeah, among women, I'm intelligence. So among all the women of this world, the feminine deity who presides over memory, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also says this. Okay, so among women, I'm intelligence, Krishna says. What that means is that among all the women of this world, the feminine deity who presides over memory, Smriti, is a representative of Krishna. This is an explanation by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, etc. Anyway, that's not the point here, but in this verse, Krishna says, among women, I am fame, I am fortune, I'm fine speech, I'm memory, I'm intelligence, I'm steadfastness, and I'm patience. So fine speech also, right? Yeah, I said that. And so it's very important to know that qualities, these kind of qualities, such as fine speech or steadfastness or patience and forgiveness, all these qualities are extremely crucial and very powerful in elevating us to the platform of enjoying life in a very sattvic way, enjoying Krishna consciousness in a very sattvic way. I want to read that verse. Yeah, so equipoised in happiness and distress is not so much to do with the external situation. It's more to do with our ability to call Krishna upon and say, thank you. Even if you're going through most enjoyable, whatever, even small thing like ice cream, to a bigger thing like a marriage. I mean, in India, sometimes there is a tendency to want to separate ourselves from enjoying. We're afraid, oh my God, everything is seeming so good. I don't know what misfortune might come. So there is this kind of conditioning that we are afraid of happiness. So that's like in the mode of tamas. To become afraid of happiness is in the mode of tamas. Similarly, there's also the other opposite, where it's like distress also. You can be dealing with struggling, like when I'm what I spoke so far is like trying to be equipoised in happiness can become a struggle if we don't do it in the mode of sattva. Similarly, also avoiding pain and distress, or avoiding not to become depressed and distress, can also be done in the modes. And the best way, I have been thinking that like I am getting some attention that I didn't get for 20 years in my marriage. And the moment I get it, the tendency is to become immediately, the happy moment can immediately become distress because of bad habit. Instead, in order to avoid that distress, instead of telling like, oh yeah, but I didn't get it so far, it's so easy to turn into distress. So that's not what Krishna is talking about. It's not that any happy moment you're supposed to take it and turn it into distress. That's not the meaning. The meaning is that one of my mentor told me like this, and so I'm going to repeat it because it's relevant to me, it's making sense to me. So I want to give my example so it will make sense to you as well. So my mentor, she was saying how, okay, be grateful for what you have, what you're being given with right now. Experience the quality of that and be grateful to Krishna. At the same time, don't expect in the future you'll keep getting it. Don't expect that in the future you will receive or experience the same emotion. Be detached about it. So that's what means being equipoised in happiness and distress. Do not keep hoping that I'll get this thing, but rather to leave it at that and say, I have it now. I feel grateful and happy about it. And I'm thankful to Krishna. And Krishna, I offer you this as well. And also to not expect that it will continue, but to say, okay, it might not happen. The person may behave like how they behave last 20 years. But at the same time, I have it now. I own it. I take it. I accept it. So this is the balance. Okay, it's an act of balance. It's a dance, trying to manage happiness and distress, trying to tolerate happiness and distress is a dance. The dance of tolerating happiness and distress. And the steps in that dance is forgiveness, it's patience, it's satisfaction. And when I say tolerate, you may say, why do I have to tolerate? Why do I have to tolerate happiness? Because if I don't tolerate happiness and I keep enjoying it extensively, immensely, I cannot be ready for what the future holds. But if I can just say, okay, this is nice, it feels really good. I'm not going to like, what's the opposite of tolerate? I'm not going to tolerate that. What's that?
Obsess over it.
Obsess over it, get too excited about it, right? Like, for example, if I give class and I am excited about everybody appreciating it, and I become attached to it. People should appreciate my class. Oh my God, today nobody wrote me saying my class was good. Oh my God, what's happening? Why nobody is appreciating me? So when I do not tolerate happiness, I'm giving an example of class, you can put any other example there. If I do not tolerate my happiness about me doing a particular service that I like, then if I don't tolerate that praises that come, if I don't tolerate it, it rules me, it controls me. And then when I do not get it, when I do not get some appreciation, it becomes a problem, it becomes a source of pain. I become a dependent on it. And then it becomes impossible to be strong during distress. So tolerating happiness and distress is something we can learn from great devotees. And I was quoting the other day also, Shodisi the chinna ke samanada Vaishnavara. So Vaishnavas are like a filtered, it's not called filtered. There was a word, I found it in English. You know, the Shodisi the ke, not condensed, like condensed milk, but what do you say when gold is condensed?
Purified? No?
Yeah, but there's another word for hardened. Is it called hardened gold? I don't know. Like the gold in its purest form, it needs to go through refined. Yeah, refinement, so much refinement. And then it becomes that 24 karat real, like high class gold, purest gold. I think the Vaishnavas are even more pure than a 24 karat gold. 24 karat has some elements in it to stay together, but actually the pure form of gold is much more brittle. It's easier to mold it. So the Vaishnavas go through so much purification, so much refinement of their qualities, refinement of their emotions, refinement of their bhava, right? There's a whole churning. Yeah, that's another word. There's so much churning that happens in the heart. And as a result of that churning, they become such great devotees. So that tolerating happiness and distress is one of those process of churning. And I know some examples of devotees, they are very equipoised. In happiness, they are like, okay, whatever. And then they get defamed, okay, whatever. I'm like, wow. And it's very attractive. It's a very attractive quality. Yeah, I know one of my mentors who's also like that. Get criticized, they feel the same way, and they get praised, they feel the same way. And I'm like, wow, that's the level. That's what we're talking about. It's not that they're not hurt or it's not hurting them, but they're not letting it affect them. So that's the difference. So it's not that I don't enjoy a friendship, but I'm not letting that enjoyment take over and become become the lead. But instead we put Krishna there. So it's like that, to not let happiness and distress affect us. And it's not that we shouldn't be happy, and it's not that we shouldn't be sad. Okay, so those are some points. And if you have any thoughts, questions.
Oh my God, I relate so much to this, especially in the beginning when I came, I understood this philosophy. I was understanding, and I was like, oh my God, this is material world. It's like the Kalayam. Oh, and then how can I be happy? And then I stood just thinking about that, I used to make myself so depressed and so sad. Like, just the thought is not allowed me to just experience that moment, even if it's something nice is happening. I used to be like, no, this is not how a devotee should feel. You cannot feel happy. It's not good. It's not good. Like that, I used to, condition myself until I spoke to one devotee, and then, oh my God, brother, he was explaining that, do you think Guru Maharaj wants you to be sad? No, all the pure devotees, they all come here to, to give you the knowledge so that you become happy, not like sad. Krishna doesn't want you to be sad. Do you understand this? Maharaj wants you to be happy. I'm like, really? It's material world, Prabhuji. How can we be happy? He's like, no, that's a wrong understanding. And that was like the first time when the light went on a little bit. And then it was there, the thought, but still my own conditioning was like very strong. So it was continuing, this dual thing. He had said that, but my own thing was like that. Until a point in the class, I remember, I had asked a question, and my Guru Maharaj just said, you just be happy by being happy. Just 1 second. So he was instructing, he said, you just be happy, everything will fall in place, like that in the class. I was like, oh my God, Maharaj is also saying, he said, Krishna will be happy if you're happy. That is what he was saying. I was like, wow, that's what it is, So it's not like we should just feel the burden that we're in the material world, and just because of that, feel so much of distress and stress. So what devotional service is joyous. It's so pure, it's so natural. Just doing that, yes, today I feel happy, It's just it's something which is coming from inside. It's not something external. And I think that's that happiness that you were saying. Be happy. Krishna is happy. Krishna wants you to be happy. That happiness is through devotional service, through connecting with Krishna. That is the purest form of happiness, I guess. And one more thing is like how even the Shastras, the Bhagavatam, everything that is left behind by the Lord, that also is for what? All the Vedas. I mean, of course, Bhagavatam is the Amala Purana, right? But what about the other Vedas, which are teaching people who are in the other, the lower strungs of the yoga ladder, like karmis and the gyanis, for them to at least approach the scripture so that they'll perform the sacrifice to fulfill their material desires. But why? So that they'll be happy, right? Experience those moments of happiness, whatever their desires are. Somehow they should be connected to the Lord, but at the same time, the desires are fulfilled. So that's why the scriptures are also left, so that we are happy here when we are living here, and also leave the world happily. So that was also some second understanding of I was understanding how Krishna is reinforcing this thought, like, I've left the scriptures for you, I've come here as a deity for you, I've come as a spiritual master, I've come as wonderful devotee association sangha. Why? So that I don't want you to rot and suffer in this material world. I want you to be happy. So that was my slowly realization started dawning.
Yeah, and the whole point is, any happiness we go through, wow, thank you, Krishna, I'm feeling so happy. That's devotional service, because you're praying to Krishna, you're thanking Krishna, you're grateful to Krishna. So there is no question of happiness separated from Krishna for a devotee. So there is nothing wrong in experiencing the joy, experiencing it. The problem is in trying to own it, or like trying to control it. That I want to keep feeling this way. I want to keep feeling this way. Then we take the control. But instead we just say, oh, thank you, Krishna. I didn't deserve this, but you're giving this to me. I mean, I know one devotee. I always see this devotee happy, please, satisfied. And I thought, wow, this devotee must be always in great situations. So one day when I went and spoke, and she was saying to me, I asked her, how are you doing? So nice. She would always give these hugs and really sweet, she was proper disciple. And then she was like, that particular day, she was standing in front of Radha Madhava and praying. And I just went and I hugged her and I said, you're always so blissful, you're like, how is it? And then I said, what is your happiness today? And she said, well, my son is in prison, actually. I was like, what? And she said, yeah, just a few days ago, they put him in prison. And I said, and how is that the cause of happiness for you? I was like, wait a minute, am I getting it right? What's happening here? And then she basically started sharing about how he was really going off track, and then like she felt, for her it was like mercy that the Lord put this boy in prison, because it was like a ray of hope for her. And then she was saying her husband was trying to collect money to bail him out, and she was like, don't bail him out, let him be in the prison, because that's going to give him and she's like one of the sweetest people I know. It's not like one of those people that are very disciplinary and punishing, not like that, but she really had that relation with Krishna, and she was standing in front of Radha Madhava, like thanking the Lord. Thank you for, thank you for this prison visit for my husband, God. So, I mean, she went through so many crazy things. But somehow or another, she was always like in this mood, very happy. She would sell something, and then something small she would find. She was happy. Oh, I found this herb. Oh, she was so happy. She's happy for like these small things. And then she was grateful for these big, what I would say, crisis situations in life. People would be freaking out if their child went to prison. And there she was just praying. And I was like, wow. So Shodhisida Chinnakke Samanada Vaishnavara. This is really the devotees. Devotees are so refined. They're so elevated. And I saw in somebody else also very close to me, going through defamation, going through so much injustice, getting banned, this, that. Actually, it's my husband. I tell you, he got banned from giving classes all over India, and because he's fighting against feminism, he's fighting against racism and sexism. So they call him a feminist, they call him all sorts of things. So they banned him because he wrote some book about it. And he's like fighting for women. He's fighting. And then he posted a class I gave on last Friday on his Facebook, just saying, oh, this is Sri Radha Govinda Dasi speaking about auspicious appearances days. And there was so much attack and on him, you're such a feminist, you're allowing your wife to give a class, and you're nonsense, you're bogus, you're this, you're shame on you. There's about more than 50 comments on my link of the class. There is 50 comments, people like fighting like anything against him. So I see him like so detached, like not affected by this distressing situation where he's banned, he's attacked, anything he's doing, people are attacking him, calling him all kinds of names and everything. And this man just doesn't seem to be wavered by that. And I remember we were in South America. As soon as we arrived, we had some money to change. Like, we had some dollars and we needed to change them into the money. I can't remember how many, like maybe almost $1,000. We tried to change the money. We didn't know anything, right? We are foreigners. And we figured out that they gave us all false notes and all that money was fake. I was so affected by it. And like Kantya Prabhu, not even once he felt any resentment or regret. He was just like, okay, some karma, Krishna did this and it's cleared out, immediately like that. So he just had the natural tendency, probably it's because of associating with my Guru Maharaj, that he always has a tendency to just say, oh, okay, Krishna's will, or if Krishna willing, if he'll always like be in that mood. I always call him like the Yudhishthir character, he's like that, like he'll never lie, he's always like straightforward, even if he has to get into trouble, like that. But what I've seen is he doesn't take credit. He doesn't like to take credit, most of his services, and he doesn't get affected by insults. Even praise, it doesn't change him. Like he's like an ocean. You pour water, doesn't make a difference. You remove the water from it, it doesn't make a difference. So I see it. And it's an attractive quality because I don't have that quality. So when I see that quality, I realize that it's possible. It's possible to attain that state of becoming like a well or an ocean where taking water out of you means insulting you, doesn't make a difference to you, or pouring water inside the ocean, what difference does it make to the ocean? Oh, you're so good, your classes are so good, what you write is so, oh, okay, thank you, but it doesn't make any difference. So that's what means tolerating happiness and distress. And that's what means also forgiveness. Like one of the persons who's very caused the ban and attacks my husband. Often I ask him, like, don't you feel bad about this person? He's like, no, I feel like, I feel such a well-wisher to him because I want this person to go back to Godhead. I really want this person to find happiness. I don't have any negative feelings. And I said, but this person did so much to like put you in so much trouble. Like, yeah, but that person's criticism actually caused me to keep writing more, to clarify more, to protect women more. So actually, I'm grateful to this person. And he really means it, just has no malice, just not any. So it's possible. And my husband is very attached to the holy name and very attached to Srimad Bhagavatam. And I see him, he has his flaws, right? He has his own things, like maybe emotionally, he's not very diplomatic or considerate. That's not his strength. But I see that faith and he doesn't get wavered. So it's possible. And he always tells me, don't get too excited when people praise you, because when people criticize you, you'll feel very hurt. Don't become attached to it. Don't become attached to it. So it's very practical. It's a very practical tool that we need to have in our toolkit. But also we need to feel grateful. We shouldn't become like, impersonalists who are like, I don't care about this happiness. Not like we don't act tamasik and run away from happiness. So it's a very, I think it's a very thin line. It's a very delicate balance of, yeah. Anything else?
Another thing that I was thinking is, as long as we are going to be in this world, right? There will be, of course, there will be continuously bombardment of situations, people, and circumstances, which will require that inner forgiveness the divine quality of forgiveness, which is actually innate in every soul, because it's a divine quality, right? And as a soul, we are pure, we belong to Krishna. So those beautiful qualities are also part of that soul. And it has to be, it's not like it has to be, by the causeless mercy of the Lord, it will be, aroused, and it will come out, But for that, we need to pray. And then without that particular, I've said that before also, without forgiveness, it's very difficult to move on. There is no other way. There's no other way other than forgiving those people who are causing those things. If not, it's just like binding us. Karmically, we're getting bound with those people, right? If you're not going to forgive them, we are karmically bound. And then again, next life will happen just because we are karmically bound. But when we forgive, right, that whole cycle just ends.
Yeah. Forgiveness is one of the, what do they say? If you forgive it, you're doing a good to yourself. We are doing a favor to ourselves by releasing another person and not giving the head space to a person who hurt us, but to release them.
And sometimes these people have noticed they are willfully doing. That's like really sad situation, because they are hurting their own spiritual life, right? So I think this forgiveness, for it to arise, there's first a little bit of compassion which starts it, because of that compassion, forgiveness really comes more naturally. When we feel compassionate, oh my God, they're just hurting their own spiritual life. When we feel like that for them, right, then we feel like, oh, let's just forgive them, because they don't even know what they're doing. They're harming their life more than us.
As you brought that up also the other time in the class, and it's so true. Actually, that's what is spiritual maturity. That's what is emotional maturity. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it doesn't come with age. It doesn't necessarily come with age. I know women and men were in later years of their life, but they haven't forgiven. They haven't forgiven.
It's like holding hot charcoal in our own hand. Our hand is getting charged.
Yeah, that's right.
Like how you said, we're doing the greatest good to ourselves. And it becomes easy. What I've experienced is like it becomes very easy when we feel like how immature the other person is, and they're spoiling their own spiritual life by doing whatever they're doing. When we feel like that, right, it's extremely easy to see the truth. It's so easy for us to let go of it. We are also human beings, right? We also have resentment. We also have feelings, and when it gets hard, it's not easy to let go. But when then that compassion comes, then it's very easy to let go.
So true. What do they say? We expect the forgiveness from others, but we want, like, how do you say? When we make a mistake, we expect forgiveness, but when others make a mistake, we want justice.
Yeah, we forget that we're also fallible, right? We're also fallible soldiers.
Actually, this thought brings to my mind, I think this is Trisandhya. I have to pray for willingness to forgive every day. It is mercy. That thought brings to mind about this laziness for advantage. For example, forgiveness, patience, these are all also qualities of Saturn. So I'm thinking perhaps it's also maybe to be forgiving takes some level of laziness, dull-mindedness, or something like that. Meaning okay, let's let it go, it's okay. Like, on a very basic level, forgiveness is like, it's okay, I'll forgive this person. It doesn't necessarily require deep contemplation, thought. Depends on the nature of the person. I'm thinking of my grandmother, my other grandmother, my father's mother. She used to have a very forgiving nature, but not necessarily in a philosophical way, not necessarily, ayo, papa, ayo, parvagila, bro, it's okay. She was like a little bit like a sadhu type, sadhu prani. She had a nickname in our family, sadhu prani. It means like kind of a meek animal, like quiet animal that is like very forgiving, like that, like a cow. So I used to see that she was a happy woman. That was the one I told that she remembered only 2 bhajan songs and she didn't remember anything else. She had dementia. She forgot everything except those 2 songs from Krishna's Balya Leela, Krishna's childhood pastime. That was her memory. Everything else she forgot. So I saw that the people who are very forgiving, they kind of they age more gracefully. And those who cannot forgive, they always kind of hold that grudge. And by the way, it also turns into cancer. When we are unable to forgive others and we carry resentment around, it needs some place in the body. So usually it comes out as, usually for women, it comes out as whatever, breast cancer, uterus cancer, in those areas, etc. It's also very serious practical difficulties. Oh my God, that's so true. Sandhya says, I think the difficulty lies in self-entitlement and attachment to control. Oh boy, I'm belong in that club. But it's very subtle. The sense of entitlement, it's not so obvious. Like, I will not say it loud that you need to treat me better. Like, sometimes I may manipulate. And I think of Duryodhana sometimes, that the Duryodhana in me, I look in the mirror and I say, why are you letting the Duryodhana in you control you? Let the Arjuna in you come out. So the Duryodhana in me is like manipulative, right? It won't just go and say, I want to be prioritized, I want attention, I want this thing. Instead, feeling bad. And what was that verse, Duryodhana, when he says, Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitinjaya Ashwatthama Vikarnascha Saumadattis Tataivacha Anye Jabhava Shura Madarte Takta Jivita Nana Shastra Praharana Sarve Yuddha Visharada. Even that is kind of manipulation. Like, they have all come for my sake, again, that sense of entitlement. They are all here for my sake. They're all, and he's saying they will all, he's not saying like that. He's meaning that. He's saying they've all come here to lay down their lives for my sake. See, that entitlement thing. So sometimes my mentality is also like that. For my sake, my husband should give up every other priority and I should become his priority. For my sake, this person should correct their habits and become very proper. Like that. Like, there is a sense of, I'm great. Because I chose this guru, he's greatest guru. Everybody else is okay, but this guru is best because it's my guru, right? So there is so much of that entitlement to think that. And then, of course, because of that entitlement comes that sense of control. And that control makes us suffer. So usually you see people who are happy, they're not controlling. They're like carefree, right? Carefree. So entitlement, it's subtle. When we think, where the entitlement, this is where it works, about tolerating happiness and distress. I think that I should be more beautiful. I think that I should be smarter. I think that I should do better things. I should have been a better wife. I should be a better disciple. All these kind of things in the disguise of humility, in the disguise of less self-worth or something. That's all bullshit. Actually, the truth is that we think that I'm supposed to be the enjoyer. I'm supposed to be enjoying more beauty. I'm supposed to be enjoying more intelligence. I'm supposed to be enjoying better whatever service I'm doing. I should be giving better classes. I should be knowing it's for me. The point is not Krishna anymore. There, it's me. I want. So whenever we are harsh with ourselves, because we're putting ourselves in the center. So how can we be equipoised in happiness and distress if we put ourselves in the center? We can't, because it becomes about us. Nanu nannadu. It becomes about ourselves, and then it becomes about control. I don't want to do service because I want to do it my way.
Wow, so beautiful. So beautiful.
Mataji, can I add something over here?
Taruni is saying something. Let her finish, and then you can add.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I was just, I just forgot to, I was saying, about this entitlement, right? So you were explaining like how when I need something, right? I'm thinking it's like because of this false sense of self-worth, all these are like manifestations of actually my own wanting to be in the center or my enjoyment. I want to be the controller. So that's the subtle, real truth. Like how beautifully you brought that point out. But I'm just thinking about the other side of it, wherein when I say, for example, I go in a bus or I I travel with, I expect people to be sane and like not to encroach your space or it's like say for example men to just be, just keep to themselves. So I mean this is like it's not like entitlement, right? It's just expecting of sane behavior, but sometimes it doesn't happen like that, right? Then there was oh my God, what else can you expect? So would you like to comment on that, Mataji?
Well, on a basic level, when we want others to behave better and be more sane and to be more forgiving, it's all the mentality that because we want to enjoy the material world, we want to control, right? We want things to be in a certain way so we can enjoy it. I mean, it's in the mode of passion, of course. In the mode of goodness, it is all right to say, well, today it's me, but tomorrow these people should not behave like this with some old lady. In Sattva Guna, we are concerned about social behaviors that can affect the society which can detriment the society's welfare, safety of the society and the people in it. So that is in the mode of Sattva Guna. The expectations can be again in Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And in Tamas, it bothers us to an extent that we cannot sleep. In Sattva, yes, we are concerned and we see where we have power and where we don't have power. In Tamas, we are just lamenting and gossiping and going around telling everybody, nagging and what do you call, being lamenting. Lamentation is in the mode of Tamas. So it depends how we take it further. It's okay to be disturbed, but we can be disturbed in Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. It's okay to expect what we can be expecting in Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. In Sattva, we are assertive. Assertiveness is Sattva. Aggressive is passion. And passive is Tamas. So in a bus or something, I mean, the other day it happened, okay? I was standing, it was Nashinga Chaturdashi, and I was standing near a pillar, and some of my students were also around me. And then one guy just came and just tried to push us and take space there. And one of my students said, oh, if Padma Manjari was here, she would have pushed that guy away and stood. Padma Manjari is one of my other students. She's very Mars, very a Kshatriya type, she'll just and I remembered her and I thought, that's true. All my other girl students are standing around, and why this guy has to come? So immediately I took up that spirit of Padma Manjari and I immediately told the guy, excuse me, please go that side. This side is for Mataji's actually. That day the guard said there's no Mataji Prabhu, but still I was just trying to say, please go away that side. They're all girls here, go that side. So I did it in my own way, but I did something. You know what I mean? I could have done it in Rajas. I could have told that guy, push that guy away or use harsh words or something. Or I could have been tamasic. I was standing here. I could have been a little bit tamasic. Or in the mode of Sattva, I say, oh my God, these girls are around and I'd like to protect them. And why this guy is here? And so I was assertive. I said, excuse me, sir, I didn't want to be a bad devotee in front of him. Hare Krishna people are so aggressive. So I said, please, excuse me, can you go that side a little bit? We are standing here, don't encroach our space. So it's very bad, and it's a big misunderstanding to think that devotees should just shut up and tolerate nonsense. Okay, that's not sattva guna. That's actually tamas. Tamas is like feeling bad. If you feel resentment and you're not doing anything about it, it's not sattva, it's tamas. So we must speak up, and we must tell if it's in a public place, if somebody's occupying your space or they're disturbing you, you say, excuse me, this is not okay, please back off, please go away. It's important to protect our space. Is that helpful?
Oh yeah, that's so perfect. I love the way you keep on telling in tamas, this is how your reaction is. In rajas, this is how your reaction is. And in sattva, this is how your reaction is. Because see, in Bhagavad Gita, I've read it, but then until I hear you speak what those actions are, especially in these kind of situations, it's very difficult for me to even understand this is tamas, this is like sattva, like so beautiful. So I'm so grateful to you. Each time you're explaining these are our reactions in these three modes, till you say that, it just doesn't register properly.
So Taruni, I am
Yeah.
somebody in the bus. I'm a dude, I'm a guy, and I am pushing you. So respond to me in tamas.
Oh my God, this is really painful. Why did I come in this bus today? Good.
That's good. Very good. Okay, let's try in rajas.
Rajas is what is rajas? In tamas, I'm not acting, I'm just thinking, right? In rajas, and I'm like,
you could be acting also. You could also be like just complaining, lamenting. You could be saying it, but it could be very tamasic saying it. Yeah.
So tamas is like you're acting also in tamas also.
Acting means you may be saying this kind of thing. Why did I come in this bus? These people around, they're so they're horrible people. They don't have any culture. It's tamasic. It's tamasic, but it's not giving any result. So it's like destructive because that person is feeling insulted, but he's not going to give you any result because it's not properly expressed.
And rajas, right? In rajas, passion, I have a lot of passion in rajas, right? So in rajas, I'll be like, how will I say it? Excuse me. Oh, wait, that will become too sattvic, right? When I say, excuse me, please move. This is what. See, my response to either those two only. It's very difficult for me to think of a response.
Push Taruni, come on, Taruni, you can do it. Taruni, come on, Rajas.
Rajas says, I'm unable to, seriously, ma'am. I can't think of anything other than saying, excuse me, this is my place. Please, could you move? Please move, sir, like that. That's how I would probably say.
That's sattvic. Okay,
yeah,
can I do Rajas?
Rajas.
Can I do it?
Yes.
Don't you have manners? Your parents didn't teach you manners?
Oh my God.
You piece of CRAT, you piece of SHIT.
Oh
this kind of service is meant for decent people, not rascals. People like you get off the bus, otherwise I'll kick you out of here.
Oh, that is Rajas. Got it. See, I can't do like that. I can't say like that. See, that's why I really like it when you explain. Only then it registers in my head. This is how the responses are.
Sometimes it depends on who you're dealing with. Sometimes you may have to shake people up a little bit. Rajas is necessary, maybe, But you don't have to insult. You don't have to insult. I mean, to be honest, even what I said is not so rajasic. If you should ask somebody else, they can be even more rajasic. Okay. I've glorified my husband too much today, I must say. Once we were in a train into Delhi, like Delhi-Kolkata train. And there was a guy who, I sat in a place and there was this guy who came and tried to pull me out and to sit in my seat. And it was such a crowded train. So Kantya Prabhu came in a little later after I had already sat. So he saw this guy doing that, right? He literally, oh my God, he literally picked that guy up like this and he threw him out of a running train.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
Another time also I was
My
walking
son is
somewhere.
enjoying, laughing.
Yeah. Another time also we were walking in the train in the street somewhere, and he was walking behind me. I was in the front, and some guy started to what do you call, like Eve tease, what do you call it? Started to sing songs at me and start saying things, and he didn't see that Kantya Prabhu was coming just behind me. He didn't see. He thought I was going alone. And then he came, and he came to the gate, and he told that guy, "Come here." And the guy came to the gate to where Kantya Prabhu was. As soon as the guy reached the gate, Kantya Prabhu just punched him right on his face.
Wow, wow.
So the point is, sometimes Rajas is good. I mean, I'm not saying in these two occasions it was right or wrong. I don't know. Krishna knows. But sometimes Rajas is necessary.
Protection of women is very necessary only, Mataji. It's not like
Yeah,
how many people have it.
exactly.
You know? People don't
Correct.
have it, but so important, right?
And
Protection of women. Who will do? Who will do? Women will go protect themselves. How much can they do? Even if you
yeah,
dress modestly, you do whatever, right? Still, it's like such a pain sometimes, you know, to experience such things, right? It's just too difficult. Unless I feel like having men who really act like this is like wow, so rare.
that's yeah, the point is, if we are doing it for the, by the way, the scriptures say that we can also use anger for service of the Lord. So Hanuman, he used anger towards Ravana in service of the Lord. So similarly, when we're trying to use our anger to protect somebody, like I'm thinking that day in Radha Madhava's place, if there was this guy who was acting inappropriately, let's say he was acting inappropriately, of course, I could have been aggressive, and it was rightly so. I could have just said to the guy, excuse me, I'm going to give you one tight slap if you don't move away from here. There are girls standing here. It is a right thing to do, if he doesn't respect the space.
Now, one more point that I feel at when we are saying this is the reason why I cannot do like that is because I think, yes, inner thing is like there might be retaliation. Maybe at that particular spot, the person might just back off. And what if he just follows and then tries to retaliate? So this is always there behind my, in my mind. So why to, just take a panga with these kind of low thinking people like that? That's how I think, Mataji. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is.
No, I'm not saying that should be our mentality. I said that there are some men who can have that mentality, and it may not be wrong to protect their woman by this kind of aggressive behavior. But I'm not saying we should have. I mean, if I'm in a temple environment, there are guards around, and I threaten a guy, I'll slap you if you don't move. It may not be such a risky thing. But the point is to see where is the limit, to see the boundary, to understand what what distress am I willing to tolerate and what distress I'm not willing to tolerate. If there is something I can do to correct the situation, it's not for my enjoyment, but it's as a sense of duty. So I read this. Okay, this is very important. You can love somebody, and you can still let them go, meaning you can forgive the person, but you can still say bye bye to the person. And then what was the other one? You can, what was it, Trisandhya? Do you remember that one I sent it to you? You can love somebody and still let them go. You can miss somebody. You can miss somebody every single day, but still say bye-bye. Oh, no, you can miss somebody every single day, but still be glad that they're not in your life. So forgiveness doesn't mean that we have to keep on tolerating abuse. Forgiveness only means that you're not going to give that head space to that person, which means that you're free, you're not bound by their behaviors.
Yeah, got it. Basically, it's like seeing ourselves, like how we are coming back to the first point, right? Basically, coming back to the first point. And this is absolutely not entitlement, right? It's just like a sane, I like the way you said, it's just like a sane thing to expect, and it's totally fine. It's not like it's not like an entitlement. It's just like basic, sane, what do you say, civic behavior. Correct, no? When we like about the bus situation and all, it's just like but then of course it doesn't happen, but then this is the expectation in the head.
I think, oh yeah, this is very important point. Happiness and distress. When we think I'm supposed to be happier than I am, then it's a problem, then we act crazy. And then sometimes I think I'm not supposed to be suffering. Why am I suffering? Right? Then there's that intolerance. So both these tendencies can get us in trouble, to think that I deserve more happiness than what I have, and I don't deserve this distress. Both this mentality can be wrong. Who says I'm supposed to be happy in this material? Who says we're not supposed to suffer and go through austerity?
I was just hearing the story about this 99 club, wherein a farmer is given like 99 gold coins, and then he keeps searching for the 100th gold coin. It's not there, so he feels like, if I get the 100th gold coin, I'll be happy. Till the time he's a very peaceful, nice person. As soon as he gets his 99 gold coins, he just works so hard to achieve the other one, and the wife just goes and spends 2 coins. Now again he's short of 2 more coins. Now again he's working so hard. So once we get into this kind of 99 club, where we are comparing or like running after something where that satisfaction is not there, right? When we are hankering for something, then also this we are just running after happiness. It doesn't come. The stress is like a extra, when you're running for this, you get that. Like even Prahlad Maharaj says that, right? As soon as you start endeavoring to get something, then only your distress begins, like that.
Oh, God, so true.
Yes, when you're not endeavoring for anything, you're very peaceful. When you start, that's when this whole thing starts. But Prabhupada says, you can take stress for Krishna, and that's really good anxiety. If you're taking anxiety for Krishna to start anything or to do anything, it's perfect, because you're doing it for the Lord, right? It's spiritual. It's spiritual, progress or spiritual. It is spiritual. That's what Prabhupada says. So that is every time, see, every points that we're discussing, the only thing that comes back again and again and again is that, where is Krishna in this whole picture? If Krishna is there, then it's perfect. When Krishna is not there, only all our distress, everything stands.
So true. Yeah. Putting Krishna in the center. Absolutely. Rajshri, you had something to ask? You need to type, Rajshri.
Am I audible?
You need to type. Your voice is not very... Can you please type? We cannot hear you. Rajshri, please type. Who says?
Rajshri Mataji, we can't hear you. I see that you're unmuted, but then we can't hear you.
Better you just type for us, because I think your internet is very fluctuating. Anybody else has anything else to share?
Yeah, one more thing. In the meantime, when Mataji is like typing, what I wanted to share about this forgiveness is, when we see those who are able to do it, like forgive others when they are wrong, right? When we see that really happening in front of us, I think that it makes an impression in our consciousness, and then it really helps us to forgive, because we're seeing another person in action. I was thinking in my whole life, my mother, how she was. Even when some of the relatives were like, especially one particular person, how much he used to speak bad about her and do so many things, still how she was forgiving this person because he's part of the inner circle. I was like, this is what I saw that throughout, when I was growing up now. And recently, I mean, that day when I called up in the morning, she was chanting. I said, by this time you're usually done, no, mom. She's like, no, I'm doing extra round because this person is in the hospital. I'm like, really? You're chanting extra round for this person? Like, yeah, poor thing, he must be his struggle. He's suffering. He's not had prasadam. They put him in the water diet or something. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, mom, this is like, I can't believe it. Like, but and for her, it was so natural, it was so natural. I finished my rounds. I'm doing extra rounds for this person so that, he'll be protected. Like, so I feel like by just seeing her in action throughout, I think this kind of little bit, this is possible, this is doable. It's like, how I feel. It's extreme what my mom did, but that much I can say for all this suffering that she went through. Yeah, I think Mataji's question is here.
And no wonder why you are so compassionate, because you get it from your mother. Yeah. So Rajshri says, as per my experience, the more we attach ourselves with these kinds of sanghas, service, the more we learn to forgive. Yeah, that's true. We get inspired. We get inspired by each other and we see, right? Wow, she's so light, I want to be like that. Why am I carrying this load? Why am I carrying this resentment? Let me just unload it. And then we hand it over to Krishna.
Hare Krishna, am I audible? Hare Krishna, am I audible?
I can hear you.
The thing is, like many things happened are in life. How I am releasing my stress. How am I able to uplift myself again? Just with the help of these clarifications given by you, actually given by the Lord through you. Yes, these are hitting inside my heart. I am just craving when this session will come on. Today I have a holiday for Ravindra Jayati. As soon as I saw your text, what came to my mind? I have to attend today. This is a food for my soul. It will help me to uplift myself. So this is the only way of learning forgiveness, as I have learned till now in my life. Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rajshri, for your inspiration and enthusiasm. It's always inspiring. Thank you. So we will end here unless you have any questions or comments. Anybody else has anything to share?
I mean, how Gopal Krishna Maharaj, when he went to Vrindavan this year, I believe, this is what I heard the story. And then one person was like, he started abusing and saying, all of you GPCs who don't do anything, that there's so much, he was just like calling so much of insults at Maharaj. One example, please. And then the Maharaj asked, and then he just went away after saying so much, and then he just went away, this person. And then Maharaj said, where does he stay? Give me his address. And then the devotees found out. Maharaj personally went to his house and then he knocked on the door. And this person opened the door and he was shocked to see Maharaj just standing in front of him. And then Maharaj said, I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm part of the GPC and we have not, we've not lived up to your expectation. There's so many flaws in us. We have made mistakes and please forgive me. And then, he said, on behalf of the entire GPC, I would like to, ask forgiveness. And he paid Shashtang Dandavats, full Dandavats to him. This person was like, oh my God, unbelievable. He was shocked. And then he's like, in that shock, he started crying and he said, he kind of like his heart melted, his change of heart happened. And then this person was like, I'm so sorry, Maharaj. I said so many insulting things and here you are. What are you doing, Maharaj? Please don't do this. And I'm so sorry. And then he explained that incident which had actually affected him a lot. Then, they both had the conversation. But the whole idea was like a person like Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who has many, many disciples. Look at him. Hundreds and thousands of disciples. Look at him. What was his action? How did he behave? He just went and asked forgiveness. When we have such amazing spiritual masters in our ISKCON society, and really following this quality and principle of forgiveness, I think in our lives also, as followers, at least some incidences, some people, we should make an attempt to do it, to allow forgiveness from our heart to come out. So this will really make our life more happy. Krishna will be more pleased when we stand in front of Krishna, when we have forgiven somebody who has wronged us. Krishna will be so pleased, right? For him, all of us are children, right? And then we have forgiven the brother or the sister, and then Krishna will be like, "That's so nice, right?" In Krishna's eyes, he will be happy. So because of that motivation, also we can try to forgive.
Beautiful. Yeah, if you have children and they're fighting amongst each other, and you like them to forgive each other, right? So similarly, forgiveness. Yeah. So let us bring to our mind's eye somebody we need to forgive and release them from our resentment and just bless them. May Krishna bless them with success, with opulence, with progress, bhakti. Let them learn their lessons joyfully. You will feel so much lighter. Just let this person go. Let them free. Remove them from your mind's prison of keeping them there. Just say, I forgive this person for all the mistreatment. I forgive this person for all the neglect. I forgive this person. It was Krishna's desire, Krishna's will. I got purification. Past is gone. Close the chapter. So the new chapter can begin. And the new chapter will be as Krishna wants. Thank you very much for your attention. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hari Krishna. My thought was going to Dhruva Maharaj of how he forgave his stepmother when you asked us to do that, right? I was thinking about her. Like how easily it came to him, right?
Yeah. Krishna gives us the strength if we want to do the right thing.